Cool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host. My name is Q. My friend Crowded Places has been working. He's been working for a long time on music, and he dropped his EP Somewhere Soon in 2020. He dropped the remix EP in 2021 of Somewhere Soon, but we have some new music that I want to talk about. And he recently announced that he's dropping a new song for 7 weeks. One new song every week for 7 weeks. I have a feeling this is leading up to something big. I have a feeling it's leading up to just more music, but in a more compact approach, if that makes sense. He dropped a song called Sing From Your Heart 2. And that's what I want to discuss today. The song Sing From Your Heart 2 is, well, I'm going to save that for a little bit later. I want to talk about the first song, Sing From Your Heart 1, which was on his EP Somewhere Soon. Now, on the song Sing From Your Heart, he was pretty much, it was a straight hip hop track. There was no singing. There was no hook. There was none of that. It was just about 3 minutes and some change of him getting off some bars and getting off some feelings. He was getting off what was on his mind. And we see that echoed with Sing From Your Heart 2, which makes sense why he would name the song Sing From Your Heart 2. I'm not sure if he came into this song wanting to call it Sing From Your Heart 2, or the song was written and he organically thought, you know what, I'm going to name this Sing From Your Heart 2, the way that I'm getting these bars off, getting things off my chest. And that's exactly what he did with this song. In this podcast, in this episode, in this review, I just want to talk about a few points and standout points that I gathered from this song. We're not going to do like a lyrical breakdown, but rather just a quick recap of what I listened to and what you most likely listen to and what's to come. There's a lot of questions that I have after this song, after talking about this song. So the artwork is by someone, Cool Hand Podcast alumni. You know, there's some talented people that come on the Cool Hand Podcast. I can't help it. Like, there's all these talented people are interconnected. You have Crowded Places, and you have who I'm about to talk about, which is Ayumi. And if you haven't already, check out the interview that Ayumi and myself did together, where we talk about her background growing up in Chicago, so on and so forth. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the artwork. Now, with this artwork, if you draw your attention to your screen, I'm going to put it up there for you to observe yourself, and maybe you can give me some feedback in the comments on how you interpret this imagery to be. Now, we have the colors. That's the first thing that pops out to me is the warm colors. You see a bird chirping. It looks like it's on some type of line, some phone line, and you have the sun. The sun has eyes. You have, of course, Sing From Your Heart at the top left in text, coming down vertically rather than horizontally. You know, we read horizontally. I'm not sure if that's the correct word to, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know, we read like this. We don't read like this. Here in America, at least in the United States. So you see Sing From Your Heart, and you see 2 in Roman numerals at the bottom right-hand corner of the album artwork. You have some leaves here, and the leaves look real. I'm not sure how she created this artwork, but I really like it. So that's just a description of the artwork, but how is it being interpreted? Now, with the song Sing From Your Heart and what we know about the first song and looking at this second song, I see the bird chirping kind of like, I think Samson's the bird, in my opinion. And no, I'm not sneak dissing. I'm not calling my man's a bird. That don't even make no sense. Like, my man's not no bird. So, but this bird is chirping, and the little lines coming out of the bird's mouth or surrounding the bird makes it seem like that this bird is chirping loud. This bird is chirping real loud, and in comparison with the song, Samson's barking on the track. And we'll talk about his barking on the track a little later. But I think it's kind of symbolic of how a bird is outside and you can hear it from your window. If you do have birds in your area, he's really getting out his thoughts and putting it out to everyone to hear, the whole world, if you will. So that's what I get. And the main thing that came out to me was the warmth. Now, I mentioned the warm colors before, but why? Why does that stick out so much? There's a lot of significance to this warmth to me because you have the sun, you have the bird, and birds chirp. Like, I don't know if it's a morning thing, but I feel like the birds are more noticeable in the morning when it's a little quieter. There's not too many cars out. There's not too many distractions outside. So the warmth, the morning time, this bird chirping and getting it all out, it makes me think of the beginning. Just like how it's the beginning of the day, this song symbolizes it's the beginning of something new. It's the beginning of we're about to get 6 more songs after this. It's the beginning of there's bigger things to come. In my opinion, this artwork, this imagery, the colors, everything that I see, and even the song itself tells me that we're just getting started. So that's one of the first things. And moving on to the next point, in conjunction with the song, and this is just the beginning, or not the song, the imagery, the artwork rather, that this is just the beginning. We hear Crowded Places, which I believe he produced the song too. I'm like 99% sure. If not, I'll just correct myself in the comments. We have Crowded Places. The music comes in, very, very suspicious music. Like the beat sounds suspicious, if that makes sense. I'm not going to expound any further on that. The suspicious beat comes on and you hear his voice. He's like, man, oh man. Now, let's just stop there. When I heard that, I already knew that we were in for something serious. Like this was a serious situation. When you hear somebody start off something like, let me tell you something. That's how I interpreted him saying like, man, oh man. I'm shaking my head because I imagine that's what dude's saying when he's about to get these bars off. It's like, I got some stuff to tell y'all. And that's exactly what he does. So that's he's about to talk his stuff. So the beginning of something new, the man, oh man, and going into another point, or this might be my second point because we have the beginning of something new, the anticipation of the man, oh man. It was the passion and emotion in the song. The delivery of the lyrics was perfect. The delivery of the lyrics was real. I know as a musician, as a rapper, as any type of recording artist, recording personality, you may have to do multiple takes. And even myself, this is not the first time I started this review. Like, these are my notes. Like, this isn't, I actually did this a few days ago and I didn't like the way it sounded. I wanted this to be out a while ago, but I had to redo it. This is my redo right now. And one of the things about redoing something, redoing vocals, redoing this and that, you want to capture the same emotion. And that's why I hate doing redos, because if I'm doing something and things just came out organically, maybe a joke, maybe a sentiment, a personal experience, I don't want to have to recount all of that and say it again because it won't have the same effect for me. Now, with these rappers and these singers, you want the listener to feel it, right? So how he delivered the lyrics, how he delivered the vocals and everything, I don't know how many times. I'm just going to doubt he did everything in one take. That's pretty impressive. If he did, shout out to you if you did all of this in one take. But however many times he would have had to do these bars, or if he messed up and had to redo something with recording this, he was able to capture his emotions. He was getting things off of his chest in this song. In this song, he mentions the past 2 years. What has been going on the past 2 years? For the better part of the past 2 years, we've been dealing with, namely, the pandemic, social injustice, riots, violence, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of different things that go into account, not to mention we all have personal lives. We all go through things personally that somebody may not be able to relate to, some things that we're keeping down packed and we don't want to tell everybody our problems. We all have personal lives. So these past 2 years is something that's been on his mind. It's something that he mentions in this song. So just talking about the past 2 years, you you can make a whole song off the pandemic alone. And what you've been going through, and things that have been happening in your life and somebody else's life, things that touched your heart, etc. You get what I'm saying? So there was one part talking about this passion and emotion. There's one part in this song, at the 1 minute and 30 mark, he said, like, it's just how it's gotta be. But the way he delivered that line, and I can't imitate it. You can't imitate what he did because it came off as organic. He just said, it's just how it's gotta be. But his voice reached a peak where it slightly cracked. It sounded like his voice cracked. If it didn't, oh well, chastise me later. Sure. But it sounded like his voice cracked, and it was convincing. It was convincing. It was a very convincing delivery of his lyrics. And that's not just the only part. He's gone hard on this whole song. He's barking. Another point that I want to talk about is references. Star Wars. If you follow Crowded Places on Instagram, let me give you a shout out at Crowded Places. He did the mysterious rapper thing. You know how rappers do mysterious things. Like, there's some rappers who do mysterious things. One of the mysterious things that rappers do gets on my nerves, you rappers. They clear their Instagram feed. And when these media outlets, they pick up on it, like it's like Kendrick Lamar turned his avatar black. Kendrick Lamar, I'm gonna use Kendrick again. Kendrick Lamar wiped all his pictures off his Instagram. Future does that stuff too. Future removed all his pictures off his Instagram. Okay, like, cool. Like, what did that accomplish? I got a personal issue with people removing all their pictures off their IG, because I see like Instagram as a story. I like to go back in people's like old, from like, if they had an account from like 2012 up to 2020, you can go back and see like old pictures, and it's like a story to me. It tells you the story of just their public progression, because you put things out on Instagram, it's out in the public, but just how they've grown, what they look like when they were younger up to this point. Like, oh, bro used to be skinny back then. Oh, he muscled up. Or, oh, look at them when they were younger and married. Now you feel what I'm saying? So he wiped his Instagram, and he was doing like these mysterious Instagram stories, and this mysterious Instagram stories of some Star Wars clips. And the Star Wars clips was Obi-Wan Kenobi going to... I can't do this. These are nerd bars. Nerd bars, something you got to deal with. But I'm not going to try to break down Star Wars and all that, because that's not my lane. I done seen Star Wars. But I can't break it down like Crowded Places could break it down. This is why Crowded Places is on Sing From Your Heart too, breaking these, putting these bars in here. So he mentions Obi-Wan Kenobi. He says the number 6, which talks about Order 66 from one of those movies. And he talked about Camino. So with these mysterious Instagram stories, it was Obi-Wan Kenobi going to this planet, and they're like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like these long neck alien looking joints from Star Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi, we were expecting you. And he had another Instagram story when they was doing the Order 66 and killing all the Jedi and all that stuff. So that was another thing, and it all interconnected with the song. This was before the song dropped. These mysterious Star Wars Instagram stories were coming out, and he mentions all of that. He says, Obi, since I was 6, talking about Order 66. And he even talked about Camino. Camino, I had to look this up. So there's actually like a Star Wars wiki. Is that what it's called? A wiki? It's like a Wikipedia for Star Wars. Thank you for opening my horizons to Star Wars Wikipedia. So Camino was the planet where the clones were made. So he's talking about Camino with the cloning, talking about, other people. And a lot of people are clones today. Like you can go on any, so I'll tell you how many clones there are. And he may not have been talking about the type of clones I'm talking about, but this is what Crowded Places lyrics do to me. They make me talk about clones. I go out sometimes. This is why I don't like going out no more, because I don't like seeing y'all sometimes. Like, you go outside and you see people dressed like other people. Now, don't get me wrong. We all take inspiration from something or someone. Like, duh. Like, we all get inspired. We may get a piece of clothing, or if you're an artist, you may embody another artist on a song. But I swear, these cats look the same. I go outside, and these little girls, from little girls to grown women, dressing like other celebrities. Oh my gosh, like, stop. You go everybody's rocking a Miri. Everybody's wearing fitteds. Fitteds made a comeback. Like, fitteds never left, but like, everybody's rocking a fitted with a patch on it. Everybody's rocking they fitted to the back. Like, what happened? Like, it's remember, cats was really wearing them little pouches, them little slouches, them pouches that go across the joint and touch the rib, them fanny pack type things. That was one of the weakest trends. Unless it was utilitarian, that trend was that's how I knew I was getting old. When I saw them fanny packs wrapped around the joint touching the rib. And I'm like, nah, this generation different. So but back to the point, these Star Wars references, you may not catch all the bars, because all the Star Wars references, that's the thing. So if you're a Star Wars head, tap in with Sing From Your Heart too. So that's something else that stuck out to me. He even had an unintentional Star Wars reference. He talks about a star bloom, and I asked him about the line, and it was more about how stars were structured, and like, he's dropping science bars in here, like scientific bars. I can't break that down either. But in the beginning of the song, he's talking about star bloom. And when I looked up star bloom, I thought it was a reference to something that I didn't know about. So I looked up star bloom, all one word. Guess where it took me? Star Wars Wikipedia. And a star bloom, if it's all one word, it was like some type of Star Wars plant on another Star Wars planet. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Like, that's a random Star Wars bar. But then he cleared it up to me that it wasn't star bloom, one word, star bloom, 2 words, watching a star bloom. So that, you have to give him credit, even though it was like an accident. It's technically like, maybe like a double entendre. I don't know. I'm trying to give him the credit. So yeah, Star Wars. Those were something else that stuck out to me about this song. One of the last points that I want to make about this song, I think we're like 20 minutes in, and we'll keep it short. He talks about He said, "This starting to be the best version of me." And this and other things that were mentioned in the song made me think about how there's potential that he may be coming to resolve as an artist. That I am crowded places. This is the type of artist I am. The best version of me. This starting to be the best version of me. He talks about doing features. Ever since he dropped his EP, he's doing features with other people, for other people, building up different relationships in this little music network that he's involved himself in. So working with others, he's gotten to see what he's made of. He's gotten to see what other people are made of, because doing collaborations with people, I'm sure it has to be a sometimes strenuous, maybe frustrating process. He's tapped in with different producers, tapped in with people from all over to do music. And the line of communication, I'm sure, isn't always solid. But even in times like that, working with other people, doing features, since he drops Somewhere Soon, he's gotten to see what he's made of, and he's gotten to see, maybe even compare. How do I say this? This is tough. This is tough. Crowded places. Compare himself with others, not to say who's better and who's not, but to see where other people are at in their process and where he's at in his process. I hope this makes sense, because I'm really like pulling this stuff out of the depths of the back of my cortex. So he also says that he's always him wherever he goes, in a tie or in a suit, no matter what he's wearing, at work, at home, here or there, he's always the same cat. He's always the same person, which I can attest to. And that also goes into a part of him being the best version of himself, right? So outside of the music realm, he's still himself, like, and he doesn't switch up. And I can attest to that. He's a good friend. He's a good friend. That's my brother. I'm proud to say that. I see him as a brother. So what was my point? I'm getting all sentimental, but yeah, he wants to see his homies eat. He's always himself. Oh, I didn't even mention that part. He said he wants to see his homies eat, which I can also attest to. He's a good person. Let me just stroke his ego. Crowded Places is a good person. Like, like off the mic, he's a good person. Gets on my nerves. Like, that's my dog. Gets on my nerves sometimes. I get on his nerves, but that's a solid individual. That's a solid cat. So, we appreciate you for being the best version of yourself. I like I said, I'm not breaking down lyrics in this little review. I just wanted to talk about some main points, and I want you to give me your feedback. Like, what did you think about Crowded Place's new song, "Sing from Your Heart" too? And since we're in the middle of the second week of his new songs, of his 7-week period, he dropped a song called "Pardon Me" featuring That T Plus, produced by Justin Wyatt. Shout out to Justin Wyatt on the beat. And the artwork once again was made by Yumi. And this is a different style of artwork. I'm not going to talk about it, but you can see the diversity that Yumi comes with when she's creating these things. So it's very interesting. Check that out. That T Plus sounds amazing on that song. Crowded Places said himself via text that I think he was being humble. Like he said, like, Tevin is the best part, and maybe that's what he needed. Rappers are, these rappers want to be the best, but then you have somebody like That T Plus comes in with these amazing smooth vocals. They gave me, his vocals reminded me of, what's this person's name who was on Kendrick Lamar's latest album. He also, it starts with a Z. I'm in my Apple Music right now. Oh man, don't let me flop. I think his name is like Zach or Zachary. Oh man, I'm flopping right now. Well, this is embarrassing, but the dude off of Kendrick Lamar's last album, I also have one of his solo albums. He made a song called "Cold as Ice," but the way that That T Plus does his vocals, amazing. Mwah. So there's a lot to look forward to. We're only in week 2. So what do you think? What do you guys want to hear from Crowded Places next? What do you think of his first 2 songs? What do you think of Sing From Your Heart 2? What do you think of Pardon Me? Drop a comment. Let's engage. Let's talk some. I'm trying to get some engagement. That's what you're supposed to do, right? So Sing From Your Heart 2 is out. Pardon Me is out. We're looking forward to what's coming in week 3. Just a little quick recap of things. And this is just the beginning. Like I said, I think there's more bigger things to come. So I'm going to go drink this smoothie. I was waiting for it to like chill out. And that's it. This is the Cool Hand Podcast. Cool Hand Podcast. Something you got to deal with. Easy.